What is going on, ready man? King Recon here, and you already know what I'm here for, man. I'm all caught up. I'm ready to go. I'm in there like swimwear for the one and the only One Piece, episode 754. A battle begins. Luffy versus the Mink Tribe. Now, this week's episode covers one entire chapter in chapter 805, Mink Tribe. And listen, man. Well, first of all, before I get into the episode, if you guys, yesterday I did and dude, I tell you what, it took me about 2.5 hours to watch that episode. That's how good last week's episode was. It took me about 2.5 hours. It took me like 2 hours just to get past the opening, like the first 3 minutes 50 seconds. I just kept replaying. But the episode itself was freaking fantastic, man. Just from every standpoint, from capturing the adventure aspect, from the color palette used in the episode, to how everything just looked and felt, the art, the drawings. I mean, everything in last week's chapter was in last week's episode was on point, man. But this week's episode, and I'll tell you what, when the episode started off, just overall, I really like the coloring. Like what I mean by that is like the backdrop, the background color, because it really adds a layer of type of like adventure mystery-esque type of thing, to where I absolutely love the music piece that they decided to start off the episode with, to where it gives us a couple little different perspectives and little new looks into the island of Zou, and then we zoom into Luffy, and then we get to see the whale looking tree that he's looking at. And I thought that was really, really awesome, because it's really capturing that adventure aspect, but at the same time it has like so much mystery to it. And just with, it's like everything feels so awesome because you're on this brand new island and whatnot, so it has like that. But it also feels like with them capturing the sunset lighting really, really well, it really adds also to the mystery of like what exactly happened here on this island, because directly after Wanda and Carrot have their entire situation over there with Zoro and Troll guy, that part was funny, and Robin and Frankie and them and Usopp, that was a really cool scene, because they go back into, I believe it's called Kuro Town, and this old abandoned town. Robin notes that this island had just been attacked just recently, and that just adds to this entire mystery aspect, because there's a lot. This is only the second chapter into the arc, basically, and there's so much that we want to know. Like there's so much that the island of Zou has to offer, and from the moment that we entered with the gate being destroyed, whenever they first entered into the front door, when there was originally supposed to be a gate there, right off the bat, that entire mystery of what exactly happened here, and how are Sanji, Nami, Chopper, and Brook, a part of this, and Caesar as well. But how are they intertwined in all of this? And the mystery is captured so well, so perfectly by the sunset color they decided to use on the backdrop. At least in my honest opinion. But man, Luffy versus Rowdy Piper, that was pretty awesome. They extended it a bit in the anime, but it was cool. It was really nice seeing whenever their heads kept butting and back and forth, and you kept seeing the electricity come off. I'm a big fan of electricity, so every single time I see it like spark like that, it just looks really, really cool. And then of course with Luffy coming right back with trying to go back for one final bell, and then what stops a bull and a gorilla? Of course, a fluttering red object and a banana. And I stated before, but we find out that the dog mink that is actually with that has like Nami's clothes on is actually called Wanda, and I love the voice actress that they chose for Wanda. I think it really fits her perfectly, and she's just, I've always admired the way that she goes around on that huge, I call it the Galala crocodile, because as you know, as a Toriko fan, because it truly does remind me of Galala crocodile. It really does. Oh, and we also get to find out that Beppo, right there in that same scene, Beppo shows up, and oh man. First of all, finding out that this is what Law states, that this is where Beppo is from. He's a mink. And it makes so much sense, once you actually think about it. But at the same time, the thing about Beppo and Luffy, whenever they were arguing over the gag that Luffy has, whenever he doesn't really call people by their actual names, well, how he just always calls them Trial Guy. They're like, who Trial Guy? Who the hell's Trial Guy? Like, to us, it makes so much sense, but to the people in the One Piece world, like, who the hell is that? And he got his entire group with that. Oh, you guys don't know Trial Guy is Law. And he's like, oh, that's not the same person. And I thought that was a wonderful gag that they added in there. I was laughing through the entire segment. I was laughing at that really hard, and every single time that Usopp would react to Robin making those cannibalistic comments, those had me dying. When Usopp was reacting, oh man, that was great. That was comedy. That was comedy gold. We also get introduced to Pedro in this episode, and I think someone stated in the comments section that Pedro is voice actor is Kisuke's, and that's flipping awesome sauce, man. Like, yeah, that's a beast voice actor. But man, you saw that they had Luffy surrounded. They were not playing any games, and right off the bat, whenever we saw him and he was shouted out, like, man, who the hell is this guy? Like, yo, and you're like, dude. So definitely, you guys will see what happens with Pedro, but he's so cool. Pedro's awesome, but going back into earlier portion of the episode where this is connecting basically to the end, to where Luffy, or because we see like the ground shake, everything's shaking, and they call it a rain eruption. So Wanda tells him to follow her, and then Luffy says, oh, or she says, we're gonna go meet up to where the rest of your crew is, and Luffy says, oh, is that where Sanji and everyone else are? And she doesn't even say anything. She doesn't even say anything. And then, of course, earlier on in the episode, she stated that there was a corpse and near where Robin and Zoro and Law and Frankie and Usopp were gonna go, and those two, man, and look, man, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, dude. But yeah, man, it's just, once again, adding to that insane amount of mystery. We're only we just entered Zou, and you get automatically all this mystery that you cannot wait to get answers about. And I'm telling you, the atmosphere fits so perfectly with the sunset setting. I think the anime did a fantastic job of capturing it with that. Now, it was overall a solid sauce of an episode for sure. Really memorable line for me that I loved from it was whenever Luffy was confronted by all the minks, and he said, "Man, this is such a strange island with all these strange creatures. It's like I'm having a whole ton of choppers." A ton of choppers. And it's like, oh, that's so factual, right? Because Chopper is just, he's exactly how the minks are, except he's not actually a mink, of course, because we know the fruit he ate. But I thought that was a fantastic line. That was freaking awesome sauce. And listen to me, man. The new transitions, and then once again, the new intro, just the whole new presentation is so awesome sauce. But the new transitions, I know I said this on Twitter whenever I was watching last week's episode, because it had it had Usopp's and Robin's, and just hearing those like that, and then seeing Usopp, and then of course Robin, and this week's we got Luffy's, which of course we were getting in the filler episodes, and we got Laws, and I think Laws looks really cool, with the ship in the background and coming in. I thought that was really awesome sauce, and the transitions truly do add a nostalgic feel, but also a fresh type of feel as well. That is the same thing I felt about the beginning. About the intro, and dude, I'm telling you, we can. I sing that sometimes to myself whenever I'm like just driving somewhere, I'm at work or something, right? Yes, we can. Like, I didn't think I was gonna like the song this much, and I really didn't. Now, talk about next week's content, man. In the preview, you already know I have replayed that scene like 10 times, man. Next week is going to be some awesome stuff. You're going to see me coming out here with a massive smile. I already know what I'm going to choose for the thumbnail. I can't wait, yo, because my girl is in it, man. Mi amor, my wife is in it, man, and I'm excited for next week's episode. When I saw that preview, I was like, we're there, ladies and gentlemen. Oh man, she's a goddess. But regardless of that, you guys have been awesome today. Thank you so much for watching. This was episode of One Piece. Was so much fun. It actually was really cool though, because I ran out of my Crunchyroll subscription. this past weekend, and for the first time since, I dare say, Punk Hazard, I had to go to watch it on One Piece Official. So like it gave me like that classic, because whenever I first started doing One Piece anime reviews on this channel, I started watching on One Piece Official because I didn't have a Crunchyroll account yet. So whenever I got on One Piece Official, I was like, oh man, this is bringing back a lot of memories, dude. And I watched it on there, and I was like, ah. So it was that's just a little insight to it. But you guys are also today, the content in this week's episode, they covered one entire chapter. Really happy for that. Once again, the atmosphere is being captured greatly. The voice actors that they've chosen to voice these particular characters. Also, another thing that has been really impressing me when it comes to the facial type of close-ups that they use. The close-ups that they use on the eyes, like notably this week's episode with Roddy, with Carrot, whenever she rushes Zoro, with Wanda, with Luffy. And I think the one was with Pedro. There's certain close-ups they use to only show like one part of their eye, but it's such it's such an impact to the viewer, at least to me. And it just looks great. It looks really well drawn, and it's stuff. It just looks great. And I really like the new effect that they're doing there, and they're starting off the arc. So I think that's pretty cool. I remember somebody telling me on Twitter that they actually have new animators for Zoe, and I think that's cool. I think that's freaking awesome sauce. Giving some new guys some shine and seeing what they got so far. I think Zoe has been off to one hell of a start. Maybe it's because we're out of Dressrosa. We're getting something fresh, but the overall, seriously, the entire presentation just feels fresh with the new intro and the new transitions and the way that the arc just looks, the way it feels. It's like I said before, the adventure aspect that we all love about One Piece is here, and it's captured so perfectly. I'm telling you, man, that mystery with the sunset coming down and the music they're using for it, it's great. It's just all different pieces coming together to create some awesome sauce. So let me know how you guys are enjoying the Zoe arc thus far. There's a lot of mystery, a lot of greatness. Can't wait for next week's episode because it's gonna be fire. I'm telling you, dude, the goddess is there, man. From next week on out, man, it's gonna be fangasm after fangasm after fangasm. I can't wait. You guys from Muscles of Day, One Piece greatness for the win. It was a solid sauce, man. I can't wait for next week's episode.